So guys, it's race weekend once again, the Belgian Grand Prix, one of the longest circuits on the current calendar, 7.004 kilometers, 4.352 kilometers. That's about a race length of 308.052 kilometers. A 44 lap race because it's long. And we are looking at a very interesting race in which we'll be having some crazy long straight. No more DRS, more mode, and every other mode will be coming up. So now this track is one of the oldest tracks on the grid. It first held its first Grand Prix in 1925, and Michael Schumacher is the driver that has won most on that track with 6, and Ferrari winning 18 as the most constructor. No other constructor come by and no other driver comes by Michael Schumacher with that 6. Wow, whooping 6. 85 times that track has held Formula 1 races. Last year was an interesting one. Lando Norris pole position, but his compatriot from McLaren, Oscar Piastri, winning the race, overtaking him on the first lap. It was wet, took the risk, overtook him, and from there he was not looking back. Lando Norris came second, Charles Leclerc came third. Very interesting race. Kimi Antonelli started from behind, added the fastest lap of the race. But how will this season be? It will be very interesting, certainly, because we are coming from the British Grand Prix in which Ferrari won conveniently, comfortably. They won. Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, we were on point. Lewis Hamilton came third, George Russell second. It was a very interesting race. So now we are going into another very interesting one to see if Ferrari's positivity is really positive, or they were so lucky, or it's just a vibe. But I think it's a positive one because Ferrari are a little bit closer to Mercedes now, especially on tracks like this in which they will have a long straight. Certainly Mercedes have the straight line speed, but Ferrari have told us that they are bringing the Macarena rear wings that has been upgraded. Now, FIA are trying to ban it because of the mishaps that Red Bull have been having, especially the one Max Verstappen had in the last race. But for me, like I said, does that mean they should ban it? Because Red Bull has been having mishaps all over, not just now. Over time, it's a Red Bull thing on their rear wing. So should they ban all the rear wings because Red Bull is having issues? No. So Red Bull should improve. If other teams are not having it, those that need it should use it. You understand? So we'll see how that pans out or how that works out, because we are going to see teams looking for ways to exploit, and we are going to see Mercedes certainly coming back to say, hey, we have it, let's see how we dominate. While Ferrari are coming back to look at, we need to find a way to beat this Mercedes team. Though the hard way is not complete, we are still learning, but we need to find a way. So who will come up on top in Belgium? Well, last year, like I said, Oscar Piastri won, Lando Norris second, Charles Leclerc third, Max Verstappen fourth. George Russell, Albon, Hamilton picking up the pace in that order. But in 2024, we had a Mercedes 1-2, Russell, Hamilton, then Piastri, Leclerc, Verstappen. Verstappen has always had a good run in Belgium. In 2023, he won the race. In 2022, he won the race. He's always had a good run, but sometimes it's not just you having the luck, but it's all about you having the total package in Belgium. Now, this Belgium weekend, how is it going to be? For me, I think it's going to be one of the interesting races of the season. We are going to have the practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, qualifying and race. Now, the weekend is not certain to be dry, but I'll give you a weather update on the weekend. Now, the practice 1, I know a lot of teams will be bringing upgrades because Belgium Grand Prix is a different beast of its own. Now, if it's dry, very interesting race. If it's wet, very interesting race, but very dangerous, because most times if it's too wet, you don't want to run in Belgium because that track is very dangerous. Yes, very dangerous, I mean. Now, the weather this weekend, from what we are looking at, is shaping to be unpredictable. Mostly cloudy weekend with chances of light rain. Temperatures, as expected, should go from 25 degrees on Friday to cooling like 18 to 23 degrees from Saturday to Sunday, with rain probabilities hovering around 20% to 65% on specific sessions. Now, on Friday, we're looking at it to be partly cloudy with mix of sun and morning showers, and as high around 25 degrees, chance of rain sits around 31 to 65% for track action from FP1 to FP2. So light rain, they said, might disrupt. There will be not much data gathering from the drivers. But on Saturday, cooler, the temperature dropping as high as 20 degrees to 23 degrees, with chances of rain from 24 to 60% probability, which could impact qualifying from what we are seeing. But on Sunday, mix of clouds with sunny spells for the race start. Temperature will peak around 18 to 23 degrees. Very mild temperature, good temperature. Chance of rain, 39% chance of precipitation. The early radar will give us how it will be, but the region might just suddenly pour down rain, because that is how funny that region is. We'll see how that works during the weekend, because for me, I think a dry race weekend will be very interesting. We'll see what every driver can do. Now, the track is a little bit abrasive, so I believe Pirelli should be coming with the C1, C2, C3, or C1, C3, C4. C1 will be the hardest tire on the Pirelli range, which will be their tire. Then the C3 medium tire, and the softest tire will come with C4. So they are jumping one tire compound, which is the C2. So it's the C1, C3, C4. Now, I think a two-stopper would do, but sometimes some people go a one-stopper. We can see that in 2024 when we had George Russell winning the race on a one-stopper as defending his teammate Lewis Hamilton. So it's going to be a very interesting one to see how they are able to run this. So most drivers start on, if it's dry, soft tires, because we want to get that bite and that speed off the line to gain advantage. And most of drivers around you will be using soft tires. So why don't you use soft tires to gain track advantage? So a lot of drivers will be using soft tires to gain track advantage. Then they go from medium to medium, or probably medium to hard. It depends on what the tires they've preserved or what they think will work for them during the weekend. But most drivers will start on soft tires or medium, depending on the weather condition. But if it's going to be raining, probably they go on inters or wet to see which makes sense. But a one stopper or two stopper, I think a two stopper is the best, and it depends on the weather condition to give us a direction on how the race will be run. But who has the chances of pulling up a surprise in Belgium? I think McLaren has a chance. Why am I saying McLaren? McLaren could be bringing upgrades. They brought some upgrades. Now they'll bring more to learn and to see how they can capitalize on their speed and gain advantage as to Ferrari and Mercedes. Now the problem still lingers and continues for Red Bull, because Red Bull are not finding it very, very easy, especially with rumors surrounding Max Verstappen trying to leave or going to leave, and also around the McLaren team and Aston Martin team, probably. But it's going to be very interesting if these rumors are true, because Max Verstappen has not given his own opined opinion to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do about my contract. His contract is still to 2028. So let's see what Max Verstappen does. But I think his best chance is just to stay with Red Bull. Now, it's not really rosy, but he needs to stay with them, grow with that team. These are new regulations. Now they have the best engine. They should capitalize on that, get into the workshop, build a very good car so that they can have advantage. These are the things I think they need to look at so that they can capitalize on and build a better future for that team. But Max Verstappen, the team needs you. They need to look around that. So Belgium will be very interesting. Mercedes still leads the charge. Kimi Antonelli leading the championship for Mercedes, while Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton leading. Can Lewis Hamilton win the championship? Yes, it's very close to the Mercedes, but it depends on what Ferrari wants to do with him. Ferrari are giving him the opportunity and giving him the chance and giving him all the tools. I think he has more chances to do that than Charles Leclerc. So depends on Ferrari. So Ferrari should sort it out around themselves. But it's going to be a very interesting Belgian Grand Prix, which will precede us going into the next race in Hungary. But how will Belgium be? Up until the FP1, FP2, where we'll see how the drivers pair up, what they do on the track, and how the track transcend or give us what the race we want to do. We want to see, then we will be able to know how the track or how the race will be. But up until the main FP1, FP2 or Friday practice, as we say in Belgium, I love you guys. Bye. Chill. Yeah.